Morning, guys. Happy Friday to you. I hope that you are having a great start to your day so far. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join me, not only to support my little practice and my YouTube channel, but to support yourself in your own practice. So let's go ahead and we'll all start on our mats, seated in a comfortable spot. Whatever feels good to you this morning. If you want to be on your shins, if you want to be seated on your booty, I'm going to go ahead and just start on my shins just to stretch the tops of my shins and my quads. And I want you to lift up through the center of the chest. We'll see how the lighting does today. Let's go ahead and close the eyes and just start to arrive in this space. And so not necessarily the space you are practicing in, but the space of now. You might have already had a very busy morning. Your mind is already deep in thought and thinking for other people. Maybe you are working, maybe you are helping other people. And so let's take all of that outward focus and start to turn it inward. As you start to breathe here, feel yourself planted in this space. And start to settle a little bit deeper. I want you to keep a smile on your face if you can. Bring the hands wherever feel comfortable. And we'll begin with 3 cleansing breaths to start our practice. Together, take a big, deep inhale. Hold at the top, and then slowly open the mouth, sigh everything out. Long breaths here. Big inhale. Pause at the top. Open the mouth, sigh it all out. And then take an even longer, bigger inhale. Pause, and then open the mouth, let it all go. You'll seal the lips, keeping your eyes closed. Now your lips are closed, turning that focus to your breath. As you start to focus on the breath, breathing in and out of the nose, notice how the breath feels as you breathe in, that cool breath along the back of the throat, the lungs expanding, the sides of the ribs expanding, bringing space, and all of that air settling in the base of the tailbone. And then notice as you exhale, the belly button pulls towards the spine, this upward energy through the heart, and then notice now the breath as it passes along the back of the throat, moving out, that warmth that you might feel. Just take a few moments to connect with your life force, your breath. Without this breath that is so important, probably we have a lot more awareness to our breath right now with what's going on in the world. It's that much more important for each of us to appreciate and cultivate our breath. So take maybe 2 more conscious breaths with the eyes closed. And then keep that connection to your breath. Go ahead and let's blink the eyes open. Keep that smile on your face if you can as well. And then let's come over onto our hands and knees. So when you come into hands and knees, fingers are spread nice and wide. The tailbone is right over the knees, and you're pressing the tops of the feet onto the floor just as much as you're pressing the palms. I want you to start to make motions, circular motions with the wrists, so pressing deeply into the palms. And as you start to move into the wrist, feel the weight into the edges of the hands, come into the fingertips, the outer edge of the opposite hand to the palms. You're doing all of this while pressing down in between the pointer finger and thumb. When you get back to center, pause, and rotate in the opposite direction. You don't have to rush here. You can pause wherever it might feel good for your wrists to stretch out. And then pause here in the center once you get back there. Left hand is going to flip backwards, come to the top of the hand and point the fingers towards the knees. So with the top of the hand on the mat, cat-cow is going to be done here. On your inhale, it might be a little bit intense, so breathe deeply here. On your inhale, reach the heart forward, tailbone back. Try and press into the palms evenly, even though it's the top of the palm. And then exhale, round the back, bring the chin towards the chest and the belly button towards the spine. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, find length, reach the heart forward, tailbone back, soft shoulders. And then exhale to round. Belly button towards the spine, chin towards the chest. Spread the shoulder blades. Find your neutral spine, shake out that left hand, maybe make a few fists with it. We just want to get the blood flowing there. Especially nowadays, we use our hands so much for working, typing, we're on our phones, cooking, playing instruments. So all of those things, we really need to take care of our hands. So move into the right hand. Top of the hand comes to the mat, and you'll notice right away which hand is a little bit, or which wrist is a little bit more tender. For me, it's definitely the right hand. After all of that time in school and working and typing so much, you get a little bit of tension in that wrist area. So press down into the top of the right palm, and then when you're ready, look forward, gaze is down. Inhale to reach the heart up, soften the collarbone from the chin, tailbone reaches back. And then exhale to round, press the earth away, round the back, feel the shoulders spread. Press into the palms. And then inhale, find length, heart forward, tailbone back. Exhale, round. Find your neutral spine. Shake out the right hand, make a couple of fists here. Maybe roll it out just a little bit here too. And then I want you to bring the hands as wide as the mat. The pinkies are touching the edges of the mat. Spread the fingers wide. So either the middle finger is going to be pointing towards the top of the mat, or you're going to rotate that the pointer finger is. Depending on how the wrists feel and the motion that you rotate into the palms in between the pointer finger and thumb, that's where it's going to dictate where you should have your palms. So maybe play around with it a little bit. When you're ready, let's go ahead and step the knees back just slightly. Tuck your toes under. Before you lift, feel that stretch in the booty, the hamstrings, and the bottoms of the feet. The bottoms of the feet we neglect just as much as we do the hands and the wrists. So take a little bit of time here. Give thanks to both the palms and the feet for taking care of us. And then when you are ready, you're going to press into the palms really firm, lift the knees and start to bring the sit bones up, find your downward facing dog. When you press into the mat, you're going to leverage the mat almost like you're trying to stretch it forward, and that's going to bring the heart closer towards the belly button, closer towards the front of the thighs. It helps if you pull the belly button towards the spine. And if you're tight to start this morning, maybe you start with the knees bent just a little bit to reach the tailbone up. As you start to feel that space in the back of the body, start to straighten the legs, heels reach down to the floor. All together here, take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Big full breaths. Keep pressing into the palms. Find the foundation here. One more cycle of breath, soft shoulders. And then let's inhale, come up high onto the tippy toes. Use your exhale to bend the knees. Bottom of your exhale is when you're going to step or hop to the top of the mat. Come behind the hands. Inhale, roll the weight into the toes. Find a flat back, fingertips on the floor, or you can bring them to the shins, whichever feels better for you. But the chin is tucked. Stay lifted here. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Roll the weight more into the toes. and then soften through the back of the neck. So for me, I like to look towards my toes. Instead, if I look forward, that's going to bring my chin up, and I'm going to get that little bit of tension in the back of the neck. So the long back of the neck, chin is slightly tucked, and then gaze towards the toes. Take another breath here, staying lifted. And then exhale, forward fold. A little bend in the knees. Inhale to rise, sweep the arms up. Palms are going to touch overhead, look up as they do. Exhale, pull the hands down to your heart and then down to the sides of the body. Find mountain pose. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Palms open up. I want you to feel that assertiveness through the palms just as much through the feet. So feel the feet rooting down into the floor. Rotate the inner thighs towards one another. And then notice, where are you slumping here? Are we just kind of passively standing here? I want you to find a lift through the center of the chest. Don't puff the ribs out. Pull everything in so you're lined up over the ankles. Remember, those inner thighs are rotating inwards. And the palms shine forward. The heart is lifting up towards the chin. And then take a breath here. Notice if you have lost that connection to your breath. When you are ready, let's blink the eyes open. The inhale will sweep the arms up. Feel the palms touch. Look up. Maybe put it into a little back bend. Hips press forward. And then exhale, we're hinging at the hips. Dive all the way over the thighs. Inhale, find your flat back. Fingertips either onto the floor or bring them to the shins. Weight into the toes. And then exhale to fold forward. Bend the knees, inhale, rise all the way up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, pull the hands to the heart. And then let's add on. Inhale, arms up. Palms are touching. Exhale, heart leads forward all the way down. Inhale, find your flat back. Reach the heart forward, long back of the neck. Exhale to fold forward. Bend the knees, plant the palms, step back, table or plank pose. Wherever you are, the core is engaged. You're rotating the weight in between the palms. Press the floor away, and then soften the shoulders down the back. If the knees are on the floor, still press the knees and the tops of the shins evenly onto the floor, just as much as you're pressing the palms. And then we're all reaching our tailbone back, heart forward. Take another big breath in, and then lift the hips. We're all coming into downward facing dog. So it might feel a little bit different since we've already been here. Find a little bit more length through the back, and a little bit more length through the hamstrings. Soften the collarbone. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale, lift the right heel up, look forward. Let's plant the foot between the palms, inch it forward, come up onto your fingertips. Reach the heart forward, lower the left knee down to the floor. And then we're gonna come back into half splits to start. So walk the hands back towards that left knee, come up onto the right heel. And then before you sink down, I want you to feel the ball of the right foot pressing forward. The inner right thigh is rotating down to the ground. That's going to help point the toes up more. So hands can be underneath the shoulders, wherever they feel comfortable for you. And then choose either to stay here, or you can start to reach the sternum down towards the toes. Maybe tuck the chin, find a long back of the neck, and then soften here. Be careful to not let this left hip start to swing out to the left edge of the mat. The toes will start to point to the right. So hug everything into center. And then once you find your sweet spot, settle. Just take a couple of breaths here. Come back to your conscious breath. So this importance of our breath, something we definitely take for granted, just like taking for granted how our feet carry us around. the things that our hands help us do, whether it's prepare food for others, whether it's to provide our livelihoods, or maybe it's to educate ourselves. So think about all the things that our hands help us do. And then that breath helps to settle us into whatever activity that we're in. So take another full conscious breath here. And then we're walking the right foot forward. Come up onto the fingertips so you can find some space. Tuck the left toes under if they're not, and straighten the left leg. Nice firm left leg. Heart reaches forward, ground into the ball of the right foot, and then inhale, rise up, find your high lunge or crescent pose. Sink down into your front knee, pull the right hip back, and you're going to feel a little bit more stretch in front of the left hip. And then soften the shoulders down the back. Feel that left heel up towards the ceiling, reaching up towards the ceiling, and that's going to give you a little bit more length in the front of the left shin. And then soft shoulders here. Take another full round of breath. And then bring the hands to the heart. Inhale to grow tall through the spine, and you can choose to stay here. Or the exhale, we're going to twist that left elbow towards the right knee. Be careful of your balance here. Stay connected to your breath. And then if you're able to hook the elbow towards the thigh, pull the belly button towards the spine, press into the palms, and gaze towards your right elbow. Soft shoulders here. Stay with your breath. You might feel a little wobbly here, but that's just creating all of the strength in the ankle and in that right thigh. Take another full breath. Inhale to come back to center. Arms come right alongside the ears. Pause for your exhale. Take another deep breath in to grow tall through the arms. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Step that right foot out. Bring the hands to the inside of the right foot. So we're in a lizard pose now. Choose to stay here with the palms on the floor and that left knee lifted. Your other option is to lower the left knee. You can untuck the toes if that feels good to give that foot a little bit of a break. You can keep the toes tucked. You can come down onto the forearms. If you have any props, such as a block or a pillow, you can always put that underneath the forearms, and that's going to lift the floor just a little bit. So until you get that flexibility in the hip, that's why those props become so helpful. So once you do find your sweet spot, that spot that you can actually settle for a few breaths, I want you to soften through the shoulders, relax the jaw muscle, hug that right knee into the right shoulder, and then just take a few breaths wherever you ended up. That awareness coming back to your conscious breath. So we need to be in these challenging poses and be able to reconnect with our breath. And think about when we're off the mat, when we encounter challenging life situations. This practice on the mat with our breath will definitely help us with those situations off the mat. Take another full round of breath. See if you can settle into the pose just a little bit deeper. Really nice, everyone. And then palms are going to come down to the floor. Come back up. I want you to be gentle with the front of that left hip and the right hip socket. And then we're going to tuck the left toes under to firm the left leg. Step back, table or plank pose. Firm thighs, firm core. Press the floor away. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, pull the hips up. We're finding downward facing dog. Full cycle of breath here. Palms press forward, reach the heart closer towards the front of the thighs, pull the belly button towards the spine. Feel the sit bones lift super high and into the air towards the ceiling, and then a full cycle of breath. And then when you are ready, let's go on to the opposite side. Left leg is going to lift. Look forward, help the foot between the palms. And then just notice also as you come into each pose, when we come onto this opposite side, be aware of how the body moves. So for me, for some reason, I feel like my left leg must be much shorter. It's a lot easier to get up than my right leg. So just be mindful of that. These are just little ways that you are turning your awareness from looking out to really focusing inward. So when you are ready, fingertips onto the floor, reach the heart forward. Take a full deep breath here, soften the shoulders. Find your connection back to this moment. And then we're gonna lower the right knee. You can keep the toes tucked if you want. You can untuck the toes. Walk the hands back, find half splits. Come onto the top of that left heel. So again, be careful that the right hip doesn't start to swing out towards the right side of your mat. Hug everything into center. You're pressing through the ball of the left foot, so you're trying to press it forward. And then the inner left thigh, kind of where the seam of your pants is, you're rotating that towards the floor, and that's going to keep the left leg nice and firm. Reach the heart forward. Soften the collarbone from the chin, and then tuck the chin towards the chest as you reach the heart towards the toes. You can settle here now wherever feels comfortable. The main thing here is I want you to try and soften something. We tend to grip in our poses. So use the breath. This focus on our breath really helps to create the space in the body that we need so that the change can happen, whether it's the mindset shift, whether it is actually focusing on strengthening the body. All of these changes need to come from a place of openness and stillness. So do what you can to soften something in the body. And then take a full breath here. Start to walk the hands forward. Tuck the right toes under and firm that right leg. Really firm right thigh. So on this side, think about the inner right, the inseam, of the right thigh, where the pant seam is on the right leg. Think about that rotating up towards the ceiling. You're driving the ball of the left foot down into the floor. Core is engaged. Collarbone is soft. And then when you're ready, you're going to use your inhale to rise up. Find your high lunge or crescent pose. Sink down into the front knee. Lift through the fingertips and rotate the pinkies towards one another. You want to feel the heart lifting towards the chin instead of jetting the front of the ribs out. So hug everything into center once again. Take a full cycle of breath. Sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. So we're going to come into that twist. You can choose to stay here, just upright with the hands at the palms, or you can take a big inhale, twist towards the left knee, bring the elbow towards the knee. So if the elbow doesn't hook, that's fine. You can still stay here in this twist, however deep you go. And over time, that deepens because the spine opens. So if you can hook the right elbow to the knee, you're going to press the palms together, pull the belly button towards the spine, use that leverage to start gazing towards that left elbow. Keep the right leg firm, and then don't forget to breathe. That's where we end up holding our breath. So be in this challenging pose. See if you can find a softness somewhere within the body. Maybe you soften the face. Maybe you soften the breath. Pull the belly button to the spine. Take another breath to deepen the twist. And then your next inhale is going to unwind you back to center. Arms come right alongside the ears. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down. Bring them to the inside of that left foot. Walk the left foot out. You can choose to stay here on the palms once again. I like to reach my, kind of sink a little bit deeper into that left knee, the front foot, so in that way I get more of a stretch in the hip. And then you can choose, do you want to keep the right knee lifted? Do you want to lower it? Keep the toes tucked, untuck the toes, whatever feels good. Palms can stay at the floor. Again, use any props that you might have to bring the floor closer to the forearms. If you have that flexibility, you can come all the way down. Still hug that left knee towards the left shoulder and then soften here. Again, when we get into the pose, we want to find our breath and then notice where the mind goes. It wants to distract you, it wants to pull you out of the pose. And as soon as it wants to pull you out of the pose, that's when you want to deepen your breath. That's when the actual yoga starts. Overcoming those distractions of the mind and the body. Take another couple of breaths here. Soften something. Feel the shoulders move away from the back of the head. Maybe feel the heart come closer towards the floor. And then a final breath here in, and a final breath out. Bring the palms underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Tuck the right toes under. Firm the right leg. And then very gently, you're going to step back, table or plank pose. Firm the thighs, firm the core. And then soften the shoulders. Last plank pose or table pose here. So everything's working. Even if you're in table, the core is still engaged. We're all pressing the floor away so we're not dumping into the shoulders. Keep the head lifted so that the ears are in line with the shoulders. Take one more breath in. And then if your knees are lifted, bring the knees down. We're all pressing back into a child's pose. Feel the sit bones come towards the heels. Rest the forehead on the mat where you can stack the palms and maybe rest the center of the forehead and the center of the palms. Full round of breath. Soft shoulder blades. And then just feel this connection of your breath. Maybe the heart is beating a little faster. Maybe there's more clarity through the mind. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. I want you to find your comfortable seat. So whether that's on the shins, maybe now you come onto the sit bones. Then close the eyes here. Feel the sit bones grounding back into your space. Almost like it is, the sit bones are this anchor and connection to your present moment. And then feel the heart lifting. Try and keep the eyes closed. On your inhale, bring the arms up alongside the ears. When you exhale, twist towards the right knee. Bring the left hand on top of that right thigh. Belly button's going to come towards the spine. And that back hand is just to lift you up through the sternum. On your exhale, twist and gaze over that right shoulder. Eyes stay closed if possible. But maybe give your head a few shakes, yes. And no. And then you'll pause. Use your next inhale to come back to center. And then exhale over to the opposite side. Left hand comes behind you, right hand on top of the thigh. Lift up through the skull. Gaze over that back shoulder. Full cycle of breath. You can give your head a few shakes here if you want. A few shakes, no. And then you'll pause, full breath. Keep the eyes closed. Inhale to come back to center. Bring the hands either to the knees or you can bring them to the heart. And then just take a moment here. Let the mind settle. We'll take our 3 cleansing breaths to end our practice today. Together, deep inhale in, open mouth exhale out. Again, inhale and exhale. Final time, bigger inhale and a fuller exhale. And then you'll seal the lips. And I want you to take this connection that you have created with your breath, and this awareness to your present moment, and take that off the mat into the rest of your day and into your weekend. Instead of leading with the mind, choose to lead from the heart. When you're ready, let's blink the eyes open, put that smile on your face. Namaste. All right, guys, thanks so much for your practice today and your time. I appreciate you joining me. There's always time in our day to practice yoga. So I know you guys that are working from home or you're doing school from home, it's super challenging, but you can take 5 minutes to do a couple of poses or to sit with your breath and really truly take that time. Put your phone away, put it in a different room, do something, but remember to take some time for yourself every once in a while. Again, I thank you for you joining me. I hope to maybe see you on Monday at 9 a.m. and you have a really great weekend. Thanks.